Finally, I'm gonna finish Factorio, this stupid game. All that's left is to send a rocket. What? Satisfactory?
Oh my god.
Welcome to Satisfactory, a game about mining resources and crafting items so you can make machinery that does what you just did for you, so you can have the resources to make more items to automate the items you just made. AKA engineering, AKA the industrial revolution, AKA Factorio. But 3D. Now that I got your attention, Satisfactory is a game about automation. It's about the process of turning an empty land filled with resources into a factory that automates everything for you. You start off by landing your spaceship, which reminds me of a certain game. However, instead of your ship being destroyed and obliterated, you land safely. Now that you've been placed in this new world, your first objective is to gather iron, copper, bushes, and even suspicious fruits. Everything you interact with needs to be gathered because it's all useful. You'll also need to get used to the sound of the mining because you'll be doing a lot of that at the start. But since this world is and you don't have a map, I mean you just got here, there is no obvious way to locate ores unless you keep wandering around. Or is there? Yes, there is. You can use the scanner. If you hit the V key, you can start scanning for different ores, iron, copper, or whatever other resources you need. All of them can be scanned, so you can comfortably spend your time listening to the beautiful sound of you mining ores. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when we first got out of the ship, there was only one thing in the inventory. A weapon. What's that weapon, you ask? A fucking taser. The world of Satisfactory is vast and filled with resources, as I've said multiple times. So there's no way there isn't creatures living in this planet. Now, instead of having some messed up insects cosplaying as Pokemon, evolving every time they discover a new high dose of smokes and beating you up because of it, the creatures in Satisfactory are different. Some of them are nice, some of them are bad, some look scary but are chill, and some of them are absolute pieces of shit. I'm looking at you, you fucking lizard. You'll be running at your direction at 200 miles per hour. Fuck you. But even though there are plenty of creatures, they usually leave you alone to do whatever you want, as long as you don't get too close. Unlike the other game where they constantly whine about it. Speaking of creatures, this world is beautiful. Mountains, cliffs, caves, deserts, forests. Even the machines look cool when they're running. So instead of staying in the same place forever, you're encouraged to go explore. The only bad thing about this is the sound my PC makes when running the game. I mean, the game is beautiful, what did you expect? But you know what? I bought the whole GPU, so I'm using the whole GPU. Wait, what's that smell? Who cares? Now that you have enough resources, you can start doing some engineering stuff. This is where your assistant comes in. Other than not shutting the fuck up, it will also give you advice about what to do. The first thing it tells you to do is to put down the main base. This is where you'll be able to see what you need to do next. You can upgrade your base or make new items. You can even upgrade yourself. Or you can sleep in it. I lied, you can sleep in it. But at least you got a computer to play your favorite game, League of Legends, while talking to your friends. Now, to advance in the game, you need to upgrade various things. And to upgrade these things, you'll need to build machinery. And to build this machinery, you'll need to craft items. And to craft the items, you'll need to smelt material. Which brings me to my next point. Remember when I said you'll spend your entire time mining? I lied. You can actually create these cute miners that mine for you. So you'll only need to mine a little bit at the start. Man, I'm such a joker. But fret not, because instead of spending all your time mining, you'll be spending most of it crafting items. And I'm not joking this time. Your first few hours will be spent hammering away in your base, slowly making progress towards automated miners and furnaces. So you can finally start making iron rods and galvanized square steel and screws borrowed from your aunt. What the fuck am I doing with my... Now that you've been playing for a while, you start understanding how the game works and appreciating what you have done. You've built a somewhat nice factory that produces some base items for you. You explored a little bit and you've put down this weird machine that you know nothing about but decided to make because it looks cool. But now you've started to ask the real question. What am I doing here? What's my goal? Well, here's the catch. There is no real goal in Satisfactory. You make your own goals for yourself. Instead of Satisfactory grabbing your hand and telling you what to do, Satisfactory just tells you to fuck off and go do whatever you want. You can make the best looking factory, the most efficient one, or get into nuclear and quit before finishing it, because people say it's annoying to deal with. Or you can upgrade and unlock everything in the hub. Satisfactory is a sandbox game, so instead of the usual me make a rocket and leave. Satisfactory knows that if you give yourself your own goals, you're going to spend more time in the game. Which brings me to my next point. This game is addictive. Now, if you've played any similar games, you know that these games can get a little bit addictive. How addictive do they get? Addictive enough for you to not see the sun for the next couple of days. You're going to stay in your home grinding on this game 16 hours a day if you sleep, more if you don't. Sometimes without even eating that day. Oh, and you better forget about your friends and family because you're not going to see them during that time. Hi, listen man, we haven't seen you in like 20 days straight and I wanted to tell you that your dad is really sick and that he's in the hospital.
Okay, got it.
Oh man, that's great. So I get it that you will be coming soon. I will
There's no change
What
in
do
the
you
plan.
mean there's no change in the plan? Listen, I know you've been talking about expanding the factory or something like that, and I get it. Everyone has things to do, but this is your father we are talking about. Hello? Hello? Are you listening? But Satisfactory, you've got to crank those numbers up because those are rookie numbers. Instead of playing for days, let's make them weeks. Or you know what? Let's make them months. 100 to 200 hours of gameplay, just add a zero, no big deal. This is what I achieved after playing 4 hours of Factorio. Now, this is what I achieved in Satisfactory in the same time frame. Man, nothing. I didn't do nothing, man. Playing this game will even make you miss the biters because even though they are annoying, they at least make you rage quit sometimes. So you can finally eat before going back. But why is this game so Well, this is dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical that makes you feel nice. It gets produced in your brain every time you do something. Eating, playing video games like League of Legends, talking to people, looking at anime girls, awoogies, and even finishing your essay. Some of them give you a lot, and some don't. Now, let's go back to Satisfactory. Satisfactory gives you a lot, but instead of a stream of dopamine, it gives it to you all at the same time. The more your goals start getting longer and hard, god damn it, the more it takes you to finish your goal, the more dopamine you'll get. So you are constantly looking for the next big thing. Made an automated miner, dopamine. Made an automated nails factory, dopamine. Finish your nuclear factory, you just overdose, my friend, and are now going to the ER by ambulance. Wait. Oh no. Now, if you're nice enough to look at this graph, this is your dopamine level when you play Satisfactory. It goes like ding dong ding dong ding dong, which is why this game is so addictive. So if you think about it, it really makes it a satisfactory experience. Now, I don't know about you, but I refuse to play a game that I don't get anything from. It can be knowledge, a good story, or even the funny, which is why I refuse to play Valorant. In our case, Satisfactory teaches you engineering, which really goes well with me being a computer science student. By the way, the main thing about engineering is the problem-solving aspect. You can memorize every OR, NOR, XOR, decoder, or RAM design, but if you don't know how to problem-solve and use this information properly, you're not surviving your degree. So, I will proceed to explain the similarities between them by showing the areas in your brain that will activate while doing either of those activities. You see, if you put half of your head in a meat grinder, we will find this, the front part of your brain. This is the part of your brain that is mostly responsible for advanced thinking and what differentiates us from other animals. It is also the part that these two abuse the most. When we look closer, we see that it is divided into multiple parts, and there are also other parts outside of it that will also get abused. The prefrontal cortex is the part responsible for planning and execution. This is the part that helps you break down your tasks into smaller steps that you can do and make decisions based on cost, time, and resource availability. Now, let's say that you have a bottleneck in your factory. The first thing your brain is going to do is to list down what you have to do. Then, you're going to subconsciously imagine yourself putting the thing in motion to see if it actually works, which will happen in this part of the brain. It's the place where you can visualize stuff like math equations and 3D spaces. All of this is called spatial reasoning. Now that you finish your task, you realize that you accidentally fucked up. You see, now there's a bottleneck in another place, but you are weirdly calm because you have the anterior cingulate cortex. This is the part that monitors your errors and helps you adapt your strategies, like in this case that we have. Now, after taking a while to fix it, the hippocampus will say, "Don't worry, I got you," and will proceed to store the memory of what worked and where you messed up. This will allow you to not fuck up the fuck up you just fucked up ever again, which make me think that after all, I really have brain damage. Man, that was epic and all, but there's this tiny little thing I forgot. Efficiency. Yes, you fixed the problem, but was that the most efficient way to do it? This is what my brain tells me every time I do something. So instead of doing something else, I'm going to spend double the time I spent initially making it, trying to make it 0.1 more efficient. Why? I don't know. My brain feels nice when I do it. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, dopamine. While I was looking for information about the brain parts, I found that the reward system, aka dopamine ejaculator, is also present in there, which really solidifies my recent point, even though it occurred to me while sleeping. Oh, and that problem I showed you was just a simple problem from my 6-hour Satisfactory playthrough. When you get into the intermediate game, trust me, your brain is going to work like never before. But now you're going to say, wait, but Factorio does the same thing to me. Yes, but this game has something else. A third fucking dimension, baby! Instead of just thinking of the X's and Y's, let me introduce you to the Z. Now, not only can you build on the ground, but you can also build in the sky. So to wrap up the video, Satisfactory is just Factorio but 3D. So just go and play Satisfactory already.